Dear students, I am Santan, working as a physics faculty in Target English Medium School. Today, in this part 2 video from the chapter of laws of motion, we discussed about what is the Newton's second law of motion, and based on the Newton's second law of motion, how we can derive F is equals to ma mathematically, and what are the units of force in the different types of systems. The topics we discussed in this part video from the chapter of laws of motion. So in our previous video, we discussed very clearly about what is the momentum or linear momentum, and change in momentum, and finally rate of change in momentum. These topics were discussed along with some numericals also. So what is our topic means now here, now in this time. Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion. So here, one thing, the Newton's first law of motion, we are also called as which one? Law of inertia. But okay, we are also called another name, that is Galileo law of inertia, because of the Newton first law will be proposed after he carefully observed the which observation? Galileo's observation. That's why Newton's first law of motion were also called as law of inertia or Galileo law of inertia. So what is the Newton's second law of motion means? The Newton's second law of motion, we define the magnitude of resulting force acting on a body is directly proportional to the product of mass and acceleration, and the force is acting along the direction of acceleration. Listen very carefully. So then, okay, in which type of way we propose the second law means? So mainly is concentration in the second law is about the force only. The magnitude of resulting force acting on a body is directly proportional to the product of mass and acceleration, and the force is acting on the body along the direction of acceleration. This is the Newton's second law of motion. So from this statement or from the second law of motion proposed by the Newton scientist, we can derive what is that one? F is equals to ma. So in the concept of F is equals to ma derivation, so we are easily understanding the the resulting force is acting on the body is directly proportional to the product of the mass and acceleration or not. Let us consider a body of mass is m initially move with u velocity. Now after some time during its motion on the m mass of the body, F external force is acting up to t time. Listen very carefully. A body of mass is m initially move with u velocity. On this body, F external force is applied up to the t time, then the velocity of the body is changes and move with v meters per second. So here you are observing that. So according to this one, what is the initial momentum of the body? Mu. Initial momentum of the body is mu. Already I said very clearly. And what is the final momentum of the body? Final momentum of the body is equals to mv. So initial momentum is nothing but before change the velocity or before application of the force. That's why. So according to this state condition, body has the mass m and initially it is in the motion. We know that when a body is in the motion, it has the momentum. That's why the initial momentum of a body is mu and the final momentum is mv. Then what is the rate of change in momentum? Because of here the velocity of a body is changes or momentum of a body is changes by applying a force up to which time? T time. That's why rate is nothing but we can set the T time in which time the momentum is changes. That's why he says that here. So rate of change in momentum is equals to m of mv minus mu upon what is that one? T. So mv minus mu is change in momentum, T is the time. That's why change in momentum with respect to the time is called rate of change in momentum. That is, we know that. Now, according to the statement of the Newton's second law, so according to the statement, F is directly proportional to mass and acceleration. That is, you know that. Okay, now here. So what I say is that means according to the statement, F is directly proportional to rate of change in momentum. Why should I write like this one? Means another statement is also there for the Newton's second law of motion. What is that one? Means the rate of change of momentum produced in a body is directly proportional to the applied force acting on it. That is the Newton's second law of motion. So Newton's second law of motion we can define in the two ways. The first way is the magnitude of the force acting, the magnitude of resultant force is acting on the body is directly proportional to the product of mass and acceleration, and the direction of the force is along the direction of acceleration. And the second one is the rate of change of momentum of a body produced in a body. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force on the body and takes place in the same direction. It is nothing but here you are observing that what is the mass of the body m, and initially it is moved with u velocity. So that's why what is the initial momentum of a body? Mu, that is you know that clearly. Now here momentum is changes by acting which one? A force on it. In the which direction? In the direction of a body. That's why. So the momentum is changes by which one? Force only. That's why what he says that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to which one? Applied force. So means if force will be increased, velocity is also increased, then momentum is also increased. But then automatically rate of change of momentum is also increased. So I will be give one small example later after this one. So here the change in momentum is increased by applying the force only. If applied force is increases, then velocity is also increased, then automatically so momentum is also increased. So that's why here just I will be explaining this type only. Later that we can go for that one. A body of mass is 1 kg. Here is also 1 kg. 1 kg. Initially, the body is moved with 10 meters per second, and when the 10 Newton force will be applied on this body, the velocity of the body is 20 meters per second. In this one, how much momentum is changes? Means 10 Newton force is acting in how much time? Up to 1 second only. That's why here we are observing that in the first case, what is the initial momentum? M into U. M is the 1 kg, U is the 10. 1 into 10, 10 kilogram meter per second. And what is the final momentum? MV. M is the 1 kg, V is the 20. 1 into 20, 20 kilogram meter per second. That's why we know that the change in the momentum or rate of change in momentum. That's why rate of change in momentum is equals to, in the first condition, what is the formula? MV minus MU upon T. That's why what is the M into V? Sorry, M into V is, so 1 into 20, 20 minus M into U. M is the 1, U is 10. 10 by 1. That is equals to 20 minus 10, 10. 10 upon 1, 10. 10 kilogram meter per second. Means how much momentum is changes? 10 kilogram meter per second. Next, second one. So if the force is acting on this body is 20 Newton. If force will be increased, velocity is also increased. That is one, for example, 30. That's why same formula we are applied in this one. So 1 into 30, 30 minus 10 by 1. Then 20. So that's why 20 kilogram meter per second. So means, so you are observing that the applied force is increases on the motion of a body or on the body. So the momentum is also changes. Listen very carefully. The applied force is increases on the motion of a body. Its rate of change will be increases. Then applied force is decreases. Rate of change in momentum is also decreases. That's why. So applied force on the motion of a body is directly proportional to rate of change in the momentum. If applied force is increases, rate of change in momentum is also increases. If applied force on the motion of a body is decreased, rate of change in momentum is also decreased. That's why, according to the second statement, we prove this one. F is directly proportional to rate of change in momentum. Then F is directly proportional to rate of change in momentum means what is that one? MV minus MU upon T. Then F is directly proportional to M of V minus U upon T. So then we can write that F is directly proportional to this one. We should write M of V minus U upon T. F is directly proportional to M. This value is A because of acceleration is equals to rate of change of velocity. V minus U upon T we are called as acceleration. So now here, if you can eliminate this symbol, we can take an F is equals to KMA. KMA. If K is equals to 1, then F is equals to ma. So that's why we can derive the F is equals to ma or not. Listen very carefully. F is directly proportional to rate of change in momentum formula mv minus mu upon t. So here, which is the common in the numerator? So m of v minus u, m of v minus u upon t. Then F is directly proportional to m of v minus u upon t. V minus u upon t is nothing but acceleration. That's why F is directly proportional to ma. Then F is equals to k into ma. It is nothing but, why should we can take the k means here k is the proportionality constant of the force or force constant. If we can eliminate it directly proportionality symbol and introduce the equal symbol between these two terms, means between the left hand and right hand side, we must be taken one constant value. That's why we can take the k. If k is equals to 1, then F is equals to ma. In which cases k is equals to 1? Is it correct or not? If k equals to 1, what is the remaining one? So F is equals to 1 into ma, then F is equals to ma. In which cases k equals to 1? That is in this case. Up to this one, we can derive the which one? Newton's second law of motion. From the Newton's second law of motion, we can derive which one? F is equals to ma. Means F is the resulting force acting on the body. That is equals to, so m means the mass, a is the acceleration. Between them, what is their product? That's why here we are observing that. So from the second statement, we can prove the first statement of the Newton's second law. What is that one? The magnitude of resulting force is acting on the body is directly proportional to the product of mass and acceleration. So I says that in which cases k is equals to 1. So it is our formula F is equals to k into ma. So here what I say is that one means according to our previous concept, it is the m, body is moving with u velocity. On the body, F force will be applied up to the theta. T is equals to 1 second, F is equals to 1 Newton, m is equals to 1 kg, u is equals to 10 meters per second, then v equals to 11 meters per second. It is 1 kg. Just these values are assumed values only, but for understanding of you. So about this one, what is that one? A body of mass is 1 kg. It is moved with u initial velocity 10 meters per second. Now on this motion of a body, 1 Newton force is acting up to 1 second. Then the body is moved with v velocity or 11 meters per second. Listen very carefully. A body of mass is 1 kg, move with 10 meters per second initial velocity. Now on this body, a 1 Newton force will be acting up to 1 second. Then the velocity of the body is 11 meters per second and move continuously. Here in this one, how much force is acting? 1 Newton. On the which body? 1 kg mass of the body is nothing but 1 Newton force is acting on the 1 kg mass of a body. At that time, in that body, it is produced how much acceleration? Acceleration is nothing but a is equals to v minus u upon t. What is the v value? 11. What is the u value? 10. What is the t value? 1. That's why 11 minus 10 upon 1 means 1 meter per second square. So it's nothing but 1 Newton force is produced 1 meter per second square acceleration on 1 kg mass of a body. Listen very carefully. 1 Newton force is produced 1 meter per second square acceleration on how much mass of the body? 1 kg mass of the body. During such condition, K is equals to 1 because of F equals to 1 Newton. M is equals to 1 kg and A is 1. That's right. These are all the values substituted in this formula. 1 in the place of F1, K. M is also 1. 1. That's right. So 1 is equals to K or K is equals to 1. That's right. K is equals to 1. So if K is equals to 1, then automatically what you can write? F is equals to M into A. When the K is equals to 1, when 1 Newton force is produce 1 meter per second square acceleration on 1 kg mass of a body. But this is no need during examination, for understanding of you only. You can write up to the F is equals to MA. Next one we discuss it. What are the units of the force? Units of force. First one, SI unit is kilogram meter per second square. Because of what is the formula? F is equals to MA. This is the formula. M means mass. The SI unit of mass is kilogram and the SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Okay, so that is equals to Newton is nothing but capital N. So 1 kilogram meter per second square is nothing but 1 Newton is nothing but N. So it is the SI unit. It is the, for the honor of the Newton scientist, we are using the unit of the force is Newton. Second one, CGS unit. CGS unit is mass is measured in grams, acceleration is centimeter per second square. 1 gram centimeter per second square is nothing but 1 dyne. 1 dyne. So SI unit of force is Newton and CGS unit of force is dyne. So it is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Why it is a vector quantity means, so the force is acting in the which direction? Along the direction of acceleration. So acceleration is a which quantity? Vector quantity. That's why force is also a vector quantity. Dimensional formula of force. So dimensional formula we can write by using the SI formula easily. This is the formula that is known. Okay, what is the SI unit of the force? We know that kilogram meter per second square. So here this is, we should be write kilogram meter second power minus 2. Why? Because of second square brings to the numerator side, it becomes to the minus. So based on this one, we write the dimensional formula very easily. So already in the 8th standard level, I clearly explained how we can write the dimensional formula. So kilogram is nothing but mass. Means in any dimensional formula, except in special cases, we are using mainly 3 primary fundamental quantities: mass, length, time. M is represented the mass, L is represented the length or distance, T is the time. Here kilogram is a unit of which one? Mass or represented mass. That's why in the place of kg we can write M. Here meter, meter is represented the length or distance. That's why we can write L in the place of meter. S is represented the time. That's why T. Here what is there? -2. So that's why this is the dimensional formula of which one? Force. So simply the dimensional formula of force is ml t power -2 or m dash l dash t power -2. No value means is nothing but here superfix 1. Now we discussed two simple examples here, means two simple definition. What is the Newton and what is the dyne? What is the Newton? Means how we can write, how we can define the Newton according to the force. It is a unit, not the name of the scientist. The unit of the force we are using the for hand of the scientist we call Newton. That's why based on the units concept. So how we can define the Newton means a force which produce 1 meter per second square acceleration, 1 meter per second square acceleration on a body of in 1 kg mass of a body is called 1 Newton. Listen very carefully. A force which produces 1 meter per second square acceleration in 1 kg mass of a body is called 1 Newton. Is called 1 Newton. Understanding? So we know that F is equals to M into A. What is the M value? 1 kg. What is the 1 kg into what is the A value? 1 meter per second square. That is equals to 1 into 1 kilogram meter per second square. 1 kilogram meter per second square we are called as 1 Newton. That's why F is equals to 1 Newton. So what is the meaning of 1 Newton or how to define the Newton means a force which produces 1 meter per second square acceleration in 1 kg mass of a body is called 1 Newton. Like the same way, dyne in CGS unit. In the CGS unit, dyne is nothing but a force which produces 1 centimeter per second square acceleration in 1 gram mass of a body is called 1 dyne. Listen very carefully. Newton is nothing but 1 meter per second square acceleration, 1 kg mass. In case of dyne, 1 centimeter per second square. In here 1 gram. That is called 1 dyne. Gravitational unit of force. It is also very important. Gravitational unit of force is nothing but the acceleration produced in a body by acting the force is equal to, listen very carefully, a force produces an acceleration which is equal to the acceleration due to the gravity. Listen very carefully. A force produces an acceleration in a body is equal to the acceleration produced or acceleration due to the gravity is called gravitational unit of force. Is nothing but when you are apply some force on the body, or if any external force is acting on the body, due to that one the acceleration produced in the motion of the body is equal to acceleration due to gravity. What is that value? 9.8 meter. That is called gravitational unit of force. According to that one, SI unit of gravitational force. Under this concept, SI unit is 1 kilogram weight or 1 kilogram force. Listen very carefully. Gravitational unit of force is nothing but a force which is produced and acceleration is equal to acceleration due to gravity. That force we are called gravitational unit of the force, because of external force is equals to which force? Gravitational force. Its SI unit is 1 kilogram weight or 1 kilogram force. 1 kilogram weight or force is equals to 1 kg mass. Weight is nothing but on 1 kg weight mass of a body. How much weight? Okay, gravitational force is acting 9.8. That's right, 9.8 meter per second square. That is equals to 1 into 9.8, 9.8 kilogram meter per second square. Kilogram meter per second square is nothing but Newton. 9.8 Newton. That's right. 1 kilogram weight or 1 kilogram force is equals to 9.8 Newton. Is nothing but on 1 kg mass of a body, how much weight or how much gravitational force is acting? 9.8 Newton. Next, second one. CGS unit of gravitational unit of force is 1 gram weight or 1 gram force. 1 gram weight is equals to 1 gram into weight in the CGS unit. 9.8 meter per second square is nothing but 980 centimeter per second square, because of 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. 9.8 into 100, 980 centimeter per second square. That's right. 1 into 980, 980 gram centimeter per second square is nothing but 980 dynes. So 1 kilogram weight is equals to 9.8 Newton and 1 gram weight is equals to 980 dynes. These are the gravitational unit of the force and their relative values. We discussed one small thing here that is also very important. The relation between SI unit of force and simply we can write the relation between SI and CGS unit of force or it is also called the relation between Newton and dyne is nothing but 1 Newton is equals to how many dynes. It is very very important for objective type. 1 Newton is equals to how many dynes. Either this one or this one, it is the same because of SI unit is in Newton, CGS unit is the dyne for the force. 1 kilogram meter per second square. It is the which unit? SI unit, that is equals to CGS unit, gram centimeter per second square, that is unit. 1 kilogram is equals to how many grams? 1000 grams into 1 meter per second square. 1 meter per second square is equals to how many centimeters per second square? 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. That's why 100 centimeter per second square. Because of 1 second is equals to 1 second only. So 1 kilogram is equals to 1000 grams. 1 meter per second square is equals to 100 centimeter per second square. Because of 1 meter is nothing but 100 centimeter. So this 1000 I will write 10 power 2 gram into 3 into 100 we can write 10 power 2 centimeter per second square. So a power m into a power n, 10 power 3 into 10 power 2, what is that one? A power m plus n. That's why 10 power 3 plus 2 is nothing but 5 gram centimeter per second square. So 10 power 5 gram centimeter per second square means what is this value? Dyne. So 1 kilogram meter per second square we are also called, what is that one? 1 Newton. That's why 1 Newton is equals to 10 power 5 dyne. It is very very important. Or simply, okay, during the examination they are asking that 1 Newton is equals to dash dynes. How many dynes? 10 power 5 dynes. Like this note they are asking during the examination.